Does he know he's streaming? Fuck yeah, he knows he's streaming. Set this up for the last 26 million hours. Of course I know I'm streaming. Get your sets out in the chat, boys. Oh, Reba. So we're going to be opening 7-5 suited because we're on a table of bitches. Yes, we've got him, boys. We've got him now. Damn, he's played back against our 7-5 suited. Guys, shh, type shh in the chat. So there are a bunch of spots here, like here with the fours again. I would probably just fold it. We have we have a pretty comfortable stack, and there are 3 shove stacks behind that fours aren't super happy to call off against. We're probably calling it at least versus the 8 big blinds, and then
we're calling versus Kemper, right?
Yeah, against the 10, we're probably folding, even though it's a plus chip EV call.
And then Manifest is like, I got some chips.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. We might be on a table now where people are going to be playing a bit more loose.
And I see this board, and I'm like,
this is the dream.
Thank you. Ready for a C-bet, mate? And you just fold everything. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry.
All right, so he calls turn deuce. What are you doing?
How many chips do I have on the turn into the pot of 65,000? I am going to barrel.
That was quick maths. I respect that.
I'm going to barrel like 60%, looking to try and rep that I'm shoving the river as like a large double to then pussy out on the river and probably not shove.
What would you be doing, Tom?
So I like the C-bet here. And then on the turn, I think we can... I quite like betting like a half or like a little bit more just to target the King X, Queen X, maybe even some like Jack X, 10X, probably is folding or whatever. But I think a 50% is quite nice.
Then on the river brick again, what are you doing?
It's decision time really, isn't it? That makes me like just like going really big on the turn now, I think, of the river. Because then I feel like maybe we should even try and get some like ace X off. If we like bet a third, potted the turn, and then bet really big on the river, we can probably get ace X to fold as well. And then he just doesn't have anything else really. He's probably going to have just king queen.
Just to be clear, we can't pot the turn and then go really big on the river. The stacks don't allow that.
Yeah, that's why I go 60% on the turn to like look to him like I'm committing to just shoving the river.
Okay.
Tell me what are you doing?
I would probably bet like a quarter on the flop and then probably keep barreling because I would expect people to play relatively honest on this board and not like slow play much. Like Jack 10 always raises.
Okay, so let's say you're sitting in the big blind's shoes and you see a random player that you've never seen before in a 109 tournament, and he goes bet, shove on this board, and you're sitting there with, let's say, ace 8 off. What are you thinking?
This guy's probably got it.
Yeah, because this guy can have king queen, ace king, ace queen, Jack 10, queens, kings, and aces, and not too many bluffs, because there aren't many natural looking bluffs apart from diamonds and 10-9. So we have all of those hands. What hands does he have?
King, queen, Jack 10.
King, queen, and Jack 10.
I'm just saying hands that I think might call, but like everything else folds, right?
So he has king, queen, and Jack 10. Jack 10 might raise the flop. King, queen might raise the flop, but probably not. Jack 10 probably will raise the flop. So then how many hands, name some hands that you think might call twice and then fold the river.
Ace 9 off. Ace 10.
Ace 8.
All of the aces. Yeah.
5, X 4, Ace 3, Ace deuce.
I don't need to
ace X diamonds.
King, Jack, king, 10, queen, Jack, queen 10. And then on the turn, he's going to have a bunch of king deuce, king 3, king 4, queen deuce, queen 3, queen 4, etc.
then he's gonna have some diamonds that are gonna be folding as well. Not that matters too much because we're ahead of the other non-ace-x diamonds.
Yeah, we want 10-9 of diamonds to fold the river on brick. Yeah, we'll show
So
you.
we're basically
It's just worth noting that there is a bunch, like most of his range is just going to be folding, like by far. So here I see this board and I'm like, hallelujah, I'm going bet shove, no matter what, pretty much. Unless
so we're just value bluff printing basically.
Exactly, yeah.
So you just think this is a spot that like pool is too nitty and just has to fold by the river, regardless of what we do.
Because if he's not calling ace-10 on the river, he's folding everything. He's folding absolutely everything. And most people are folding ace-10 and ace-jack on the river.
Okay.
So this is exactly what I teach. I tell you, what is his range and what are we going to do about it? So his range is all of the shit that we just said, which is a million combos. And then how much of his range is going to be calling the river? Basically none. So
I think this is the issue, is like I'm so confident in doing this in cash because I'm so much better at ranging people in cash, and just like 30 bigs MTT stuff. Like
that's the crucial difference, is that in cash usually ranges are a lot wider. But in MTTs, you get so many situations where you can narrow down their exact hand. This isn't one of them, but you'll get so many situations where you can make them fold 95% of their range. Yeah. And that's another part of what tournaments are.
I'm sorry, go on.
Sometimes it's best not to just bluff off your stack in a random spot, but this is one of the spots that's just so damn good that I'm just like, hallelujah, it came ace, king, queen.
Okay. So I'm just trying to take it in, and I'm just trying to think of some more questions. Like, I suppose this isn't a spot where we can like endanger his stack, but if he has less than, like, say he has like 500k, 400k, then is there like more fold equity because he doesn't want to then be calling off our jam and be wrong and then be down to like a 20 big stack type thing where he could just...
Of course. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And every now and again, we're going to run into a fish that doesn't want to fold ace deuce or king jack or whatever, but it happens.
We'll find them on Instagram and send them a message and be like, that was a very good call, sir. Well done. and then instantly block them. Yeah, I think that's actually a good point that I don't really think about. But like, I mean, in game, I might have just tripled off, but like my gut feeling is that on MTTs at this stage, I wouldn't, because knit life, whatever.
If your first thought isn't like, hey, I'm going to triple off, you're probably not going to think to triple off with fours.
Okay, remember the buttons. Hey.
All right, what are your thoughts on this flop?
Okay, so what I know from it,
it's basically just one thing I want you to think. I'll tell you when you get it.
Okay, it's just a low dry board that neither of us hit particularly well, but he has probably more 3s and 9s than I do. I mean, 9's not particularly relevant, just 3s. He probably has more.
Keep going. I'll tell you when you hit it.
Shit.
What's your decision?
To bet or check?
Yeah, and why?
I don't know how much people are going to check raise at this thing, so I think stabbing is just fine to try and get value from other ace highs. I don't think people are going to raise enough.
That's when you got it. You got it. That's all we want. We just want to get value from ace high, maybe king high. So that's literally all I want. All I'll be thinking here is like, what's the biggest size that ace high will definitely call? So if he has ace deuce or ace four, what's the size that will call?
Like 12, 13k.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I want to go. Checking's fine. I mean, I never do that in these tournaments because people, like you said, people are not check raising.
Every sentence, Charlie's like, oh, that's fine. I mean, I'm never doing it. But
no, yeah. But I mean, you'll find a bunch of high stakes regs doing that. So that's
okay.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm checking back ace high for balance or something. I don't know.
I mean,
sorry, I'll do that in the voice.
All right. So again, when he checks the turn, you're so sure that he doesn't have a pair now because he's get protection. So
now I want to bet like 12k for value, right?
Exactly. Now you
it's too big. Okay, fine. He's like, yeah, what?
Right,
and I remember thinking, I bet I look a lot like ace high here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm never folding, right? Like I was like, this just looks like I have ace high, and this is the perfect
by
spot.
checking the turn, he's earned all of my chips. He can shove the river. He's got my chips. So.
I've thought a very similar line.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet I look like ace high, and he has fucking nothing. And then on the river 5, I'm actually sort of happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh god,
it's a nice spot.
And he's like,
oh, man, that feels a bit like a 9, but cool, obviously.
And I was like, yeah. So he did this, and on the river when he didn't go bigger, I was like, oh no, I was just gonna snap if he went bigger. And then when he went smaller, I was like, I mean, I'm never folding.
Yeah, no.
Like, I just looked too much like ace high, and I was just like,
hilarious.
pop pop.
It's also the fact that if he has something like pocket, or if he has something like 8-9 on the turn, then he's going to want to bet because it looks like your ace high are just going to check back.
Yeah. Tucker messaged me with like nice hand, and I was just like, more chips to stack you, don't worry.
Yeah, you can get away with opening that for sure. The big blind's tight, and
2 shove stacks.
But the 8 big blind you might even be able to just call off against.
Really?
I'm not sure. It might be a fold against it, but the point is they don't shove that often, so you can definitely consider opening it.
Okay.